Hello all my beanie weenies and welcome back to my channel. This is of course another episode of The Sims for the Traitors, and I am your amazing host, Hotdogs. And in today's episode, we are doing another challenge in order to not only earn safety from being murdered, but also money for that prize fund at the end. So far, as a group, you have collected $14,000. However, after today's challenge, you will earn an additional $6,000, bringing you to a total of 20,000 simoleons. Now, of course, while I'm trying to describe this, we do get some mail delivered, so that's a bit awkward. But to start things off, you are going to race across the island to my hedge maze. Inside the hedge maze, there are many obstacles, and you will be divided up into 4 teams. Those teams are based on how fast you get there. So, get to running. Now, to evenly distribute the teams, the last 2 players to arrive have been eliminated from the challenge, and those 2 players are Salem, not really much of a shocker there, and Lily. So both of you are out of the competition and are eligible to be murdered tonight. However, the rest of our Sims have been divided up into 4 teams of 3. The first team is Arnessa, Eva, and Gunther. The second team is Ian, Dee, and Jess. The third is Eric, Sienna, and Don, and the fourth is Thorn, Leah, and Jeb. First, you will make your way through the hedge maze and on to your first obstacle, where you must graffiti a wall before swimming through more obstacles and then clipping some more hedges, making sure everything's nice and tidy. You will then make your way to a bar where you will make yourself a drink and drink it, swim and make your way through more hedge mazes, and then by the time you get to the end, you may be the winner. The first 2 teams to make their way through my maze will earn everyone 6,000 simoleons. And everyone is off, pretty quickly making their way through the first section of the maze before reaching the first obstacle, where the 3 must work together in order to paint this graffiti. And this is gonna take some time. Immediately, we have a couple quitters. On team 1, we see that Gunther is the first sim to just be over painting. I don't know if his needs are low, if his mood isn't correct, but he's not the only one. We see that Jess has also stopped painting. However, team 3 seem to be working together just fine, but it looks as though they keep getting in each other's way. Now, while they're painting this, they want to keep moving from left to right all over the place, and of course, other sims are there, and it makes them want to give up, or angers them, or I'm not exactly too sure, but we see that Dawn has quit on team 3, and on team 4, Jeb and Leah have also quit. Now, when it comes to these quitters, hopefully their moods will improve on their own, and then they'll be able to start painting once again. If not, they'll have to either keep standing around or hopefully be able to move on to the next task. I will say though that quitting this early in the challenge does seem a bit suspicious. Maybe these Sims quit because they feel comfortable that they're not going to get murdered. And maybe they know that because they are a traitor. Are any of these quitters a traitor? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. It seems Thea has also quit painting, leaving Ian to be the sole painter on his team. Finally, on Team 3, we're getting some color on the wall. We see some nice splashes of red, black, and gray going on thanks to Eric and Sienna. However, everyone else is still working in black and white except for team number 1. It seems as though the two teams that have 2 painters are in the lead. Shocker.
Yips.
Even though he's painting on his own, Ian is making a little bit of progress, getting some color finally put up on the wall. However, team number 3 with Dawn, Sienna, and Eric finally finish their painting and make their way to the second obstacle. However, this is where I realized there was a mistake, as I didn't delete the archways. So immediately Eric tries to turn around and run all the way around, and I have to go into build by mode and change some things around. But immediately after that, we see that Team 1 has also finished their painting and are now making their way to the second obstacle. Even though Don didn't do much for the first one, he is first there to the second obstacle and is already clipping those hedge pieces, while Eric is a bit behind since he tried to run around. Both Eva and Eric arrive at the second obstacle basically at the same time, so it is neck and neck so far. However, back over at the first obstacle, we see that Jess has finally felt a little bit better, maybe being motivated a bit more, seeing other Sims progress on, and she has hopped on and has started painting, as well as Leah for team number 4. Thankfully, the second obstacle is not based on doing it well, it's just about completing the task, as some of the Sims have finished their portion, even if it is pretty bad. We see that team number 3 is first to finish once again and makes their way over to the third obstacle. However, team number 1 is very closely behind. Luckily for Eric, he discovers that he likes mixology while creating this drink and seems to have brightened his mood a little bit more. I gotta say, he's either trying to not look like a traitor by trying so hard in this challenge, or he is being a really successful faithful as he's really carrying out his team. However, back over on the painting side, it looks as though those solo painters that kept it going, both Thorn and Ian on their team, have given up, and they are back to one other player painting for them. It's going to take quite a while for them to try to catch up at this point, and it's definitely a fight between teams 1 and 3, but team 2 has not given up, as Jess, Dee, and Ian finally make their way to the second obstacle. Both Team 1 and 3 are almost done with this third obstacle. However, because they just now drank, they're standing in the cold, they've been out there for a while, a lot of them aren't feeling too well and are taking their time getting to the finish line. We see that both Thee and Ian have finally got to their second obstacle and have begun clipping that hedge. However, team number 4 are still painting. Arnessa tried to meditate it away, tried to fight through the pain. However, she has now soiled herself, is freezing, is filthy, and is in pain. However, it looks as though Sienna has fought through and has got to the finish line first for her team. After hours of in-game time, team number 4 have finally finished their painting and are making their way to the second obstacle. Meanwhile, on team number 1, Eva is the first to get to the finish line, and on team number 3, Dawn has arrived and they are waiting for their final member. Things aren't going so well, however, for Ian as he joins Arnessa in the Peeing My Pants Club. Alright, no real surprises here as they were in the lead the whole way through. However, team number 3 have finally all made it to the end, successfully sealing their fate, earning 3,000 simoleons, and making sure that Dawn, Sienna, and Eric cannot be murdered tonight, while team number 1 is still waiting for Arnessa to make her way to the end. Team number 4 have not given up, however, as they are now making their way to obstacle 3. However, all of them already have to pee, so I think making a drink and drinking it might be an issue. However, it's no real surprise. They were in the lead for most of the way, but team number 1 has finally all successfully made it to the end, making sure that Arnessa, Gunther, and Eva will also be safe from being murdered tonight and have also earned an additional 3,000 for the jackpot. Those 6 Sims will be safe, but no one else will be from being murdered or from each other, as soon as we cut back to the house, it is complete chaos with a fist fight instantly happening. It seems as though the fight was between Salem and Gunther, and I'm not exactly too sure why. Maybe Gunther woke lazy-ass Salem up from a nap? I'm not exactly too sure. But it looks as though no one else really cares. Jeb kind of got a good little view of the fight, but instantly him, Thorn, Salem, and Gunther all gather around the game table and begin playing. Maybe some of these players just aren't very good sports. While upstairs in the attic, a party is slowly forming around the record player, and it looks as though it's a girls' night as we have Sienna, Eva, Arnessa, and now Leah dancing along. Most of the remaining house guests are upstairs in the bar where Jess is serving up some drinks.
Oh, Pipua! Conqueror?
Jaffa! Breeze do schmoo! Bull! Tropes egg whips a dar! Alupaz! Wish him!
And I want to take this time once again to thank all my beanie weenies for sticking around. I was kind of nervous when I posted the last episode as it had been quite a while. However, I got just as many views. I haven't lost any followers. I still had such a nice reception from you guys about the series. So I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying it. And I promise to be updating a lot more frequently. I had a lot of weird inconsistencies last year with my job and everything. And then the holidays came around. and it was just all very stressful and a lot was happening. However, with the new year, I've become a lot more where am I going with this? I don't know, I've become a lot more settled in where I am in life, and I'm able to sort of focus a bit more time in doing this, and I'm sorry once again for keeping you guys hanging for so long. But as the night kind of winds down for a lot of our Sims, we did see that a lot of flirting was going down between Thea and Dawn, and the two of them make their way to the only real solo room in the house to have some not so solo activities happen. And it looks as though Thea is topping. I don't really know, but we're gonna move on. And we see that a lot of our other Sims are going to bed and starting to sleep peacefully, knowing that 6 of them are safe from being murdered. However, a lot of them are still very much vulnerable. Speaking of vulnerable, why don't we go ahead and check on those traitors as they meet in secret anonymously, and they make their way upstairs to the turret to make their decision on who they want to murder tonight. I do want to say, when it comes to that round table vote, you definitely want to be checking, going back and rewatching episodes and seeing who some of these people are close or not so close to, as some of these Sims are voting out who they like the least. And it's a majority vote when it comes to the Traitors murdering decision. So sometimes 2 of them want to do it, other times one person just has a really strong feeling and they argue their way in there. So it's definitely based on that. So you want to go back, look, rewatch, and see if you can find any more clues. But that's going to finish today's episode. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this new episode of The Sims 4 The Traitors. And make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and all that stuff. That way you're notified for the next one. Bye.